Ladies and gentlemen, the first vaccine is in.
90-year-old grandmother Margaret Keenan becomes the first person in the world to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 jab following its clinical approval.
In what will be the start of the biggest immunisation programme in the country's history.
It was fine. I wasn't nervous at all. It was really good.
Good on you, Margaret. Mind you, I don't know if you watched her taking the injection. I can't believe she didn't take the piss. You would have done, wouldn't you? Just when it popped in. OK, just gonna pop in. OK, no problem. You would, wouldn't you? Just before you went in, just sellotape a tail to your ass. What have you fuckers done? Did you see the name of the guy who was up next?
The second person to receive the jab, incredibly, is this man, William Shakespeare, from Warwickshire.
I mean, he must have taken the piss. You all right, nurse? Which ward do you want me on? 2B or not 2B? It is brilliant news. Matt Hancock went on the telly and pretended to cry.
You're quite emotional by that.
Well, it's just, it's been, it's been such a tough year for so many people.
I can't believe I'm going to keep my job. So how did Jonathan Van Tam explain it? How do you think?
The train has now slowed down safely. It has now stopped in the station and the doors have opened.
Mr. Choo-Choo stops the flu-flu. There's more. Listen to how he explained the logistics.
It's not a yoghurt that can be taken out of the fridge and put back in multiple times. It's really tricky to handle.
Two things. One, I think we all knew it wasn't a fucking munch punch. And two, who's eating half a yoghurt and putting it back in the fridge?
I better save that for later. I don't want all this yoghurt fun at once. Dano.
It gets madder. Look what Boris called it.
We're kind of biological jiu-jitsu.
It's biological jiu-jitsu, which is also my safe word. Now, worryingly, not everyone is convinced by it.
A Snap poll by YouGov has found that although the UK traditionally has a high take-up of immunisations, 1 in 5 Britons is not confident the vaccine is safe.
It's not safe. You don't know what's in it. You're eating a kebab. It's full of chemicals. You're vaping. I ain't having it. I will never have it. I will never put that muck in my body. Well, if you don't have it, you can't go on holiday. Fucking whack it in, mate. It's pretty scary. One journalist explained it perfectly.
If people aren't prepared to roll up their sleeves and get the jab, it doesn't matter how good the science is, it doesn't matter how effective the vaccine is. It ain't going to work if it stays in the bottle.
Exactly. So, how are the NHS trying to convince people? Detailed adverts showing the science? Nope. They're recruiting sensible celebs and the royal family. The royals? I can't wait to see Prince Philip. Come on, Britain. It's only a little prick. Or as I like to call it, Prince Andrew.
Philip's right. This jab is completely legit. Unlike the fucking Crown. Netflix and kiss my asshole, you wankers!
How great would it be if Liz went full train spotting? Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's really fucking good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is better than the hippie crack we did at Rita Ora's. I mean, I wasn't there, man. I wasn't there.
Now, talking to celebs, some of them are desperate for it.
I've already said I'll have it in both arms and both legs.
I will be there as soon as it's my turn with my sleeve rolled up and my arm out, and I am absolutely ready, and I have no concerns and I have no worries.
If it helped get the message over, I'd take it live on air. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll take it with you, Piers.
Yeah. I'll take it with you. We could be best friends, yeah? Do you sleep over around mine, yeah? My mum fucking lets me stay out whenever I want. I wasn't crying. I was not crying. Now, amazingly, the public agreed with Matt. It turns out 2/3 want Matt Hancock to be given the COVID-19 jab on live TV. In fairness, they'd also like to see him tasered, pegged and circumcised by a baby alligator. And it's no wonder they want him injected first. People don't trust MPs, and it's hardly surprising. I mean, take last week. Rather than dealing with the largest vaccine programme in British history, what were they doing? Squabbling about snacks.
The national debate has moved on to how big a Scotch egg has to be.
I think a Scotch egg probably would count as a substantial meal.
You can have a Scotch egg as a starter.
You can eat a substantial Scotch egg with your pint.
I myself would definitely scoff a couple of Scotch eggs.
I don't know, is it one Scotch egg, is it two?
I like a Scotch egg, but I won't be eating one publicly.
We're in Parliament, not a wild bean cafe. Why the fuck are they talking about Scotch eggs? What next? Will wine gums get you drunk? Is it scone or scone? I think this lady puts it best.
Shut up, you cunt!
Elsewhere this week, some parts of Britain are opening up.
Thousands of non-essential shops reopened this morning, with many stores slashing their prices to attract people back.
I bet people were delighted.
To be honest, I'd rather online shop. Half of these shops are rubbish what they've got in.
It's a bit old banker wank, isn't it, Gary?
No, the shops may be shit, but their signs are brilliant. Doorbell broken, yell ding dong really loud. It wasn't just shops opening up. This may be the most British headline ever. Drinkers hit pubs by 8:30 a.m. to get first pint after lockdown. Finally, life can return to normal. Barman, fetch me some cornflakes and a pint of whiskey. It is breakfast time. People were calling it Wild Wednesday, presumably because they couldn't call it Dad's Got a Problem Day. No, You've Shit Yourself Day. I'll say this now, if you're drinking outside in December, it's not wild, it's feral. Look what this pub did to feed our addiction. Tequila Bar applies to become church to beat Tier 3 rules. Well, that is going to change the hymns. He's got tequila and brandy in his hands. He's got the barmaid's tits in his hands. He's got the policeman's handcuffs round his hands, and it's not even 10 a.m. All things bright and beautiful, 5 Jaegers on the bar. I'm so pissed that I just tried to have sex with my car. Cough, mate, I've got a Scotch egg. Diplomatic immunity. I'm not surprised pubs are making changes. Some people are so desperate to get out, they're tweeting about it, but not always careful about what they tweet. Fuck this pandemic. I miss eating out my friends. With my friends! I miss eating out with my friends! Either that or she really misunderstood this. Elsewhere this week, football is back.
Today, for the first time since the first lockdown, football fans returned to the stands to watch a Premier League game.
That meant temperature checks outside the stadium, wearing masks, and on into a sparsely populated stadium.
And not only that, the government says fans should be discouraged from singing and chanting. That is never going to happen. There's more chance of Millwall fans not being arseholes. Did you see what happened?
Controversy also returned when some Millwall supporters made their thoughts clear after players took the knee.
What a bunch of racist morons. This is England, not Africa. Your mascot is a lion, you fuckwit. It's so frustrating because most football fans are wonderful, funny people. For example, here's a steward removing an inflatable penis. And here is the crowd's reaction.
They want a dick back!
Over in America, the tiny-handed bullshit machine spoke to the nation.
This may be the most important speech I've ever made.
So, was it about COVID, a plan to reset the economy? What do you think?
This election is about great voter fraud. Fraud, 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 outright fraud, 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 fraud. It was about fraud.
Was it? Some of his excuses were ridiculous.
The Democrats had this election rigged right from the beginning. They used the pandemic, sometimes referred to as the China virus.
Yeah, by you, sometimes referred to as the tango twat, but continue. How did they use the pandemic?
As an excuse to mail out tens of millions of ballots, which ultimately led to a big part of the fraud.
No, people wanted to vote remotely so they wouldn't die of COVID. Anything else?
It is statistically impossible that the person, me, that led the charge lost.
You don't know about statistics. You can barely pronounce it.
Statistics.
You lost the popular vote by 7 million and the Electoral College by 74. Read those. By the end, he was just rambling.
I have a lot of friends in Detroit. They know it.
I got a lot of friends in Bristol. What's your point?
There is no one happier right now than China.
I don't know. What about this guy?
Hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Do you know why he's so happy? He nicked this guy's teeth. It wasn't just Trump. Did you see his press secretary displaying the evidence?
We are fighting new lawsuit today. Where is the evidence? Right here, Sean. We have been granted discovery. I have 3 binders, literally hundreds of pages. We have a number of affidavits. Read through some of these affidavits. 234 pages of sworn affidavits. All of the circles are different ballot numbers. They're startling, Sean.
She's having a breakdown. How long before she's like this?
I got these. I got this. I found this. I got this guy. I found this. Does this look like the face of a liar?
Lot of fun, Matt. Lot of fun. Your hair gets... I don't know how you do it, ladies. Your hair gets everywhere. So... Anyway. So... I kept doing that to get it right. So, is all this bitching working? Not really. Look what happened when Trump paid for a recount.
The Trump campaign requested and paid $3 million for the partial recount. In the end, Joe Biden increased his lead by 87 votes.
Donald Trump effectively paid $3 million to increase Joe Biden's lead.
I think I speak for everyone when I say, ah.